All right. We are live today. Here's something neat before we start. This is an AI created music video that I found. I'll drop the link in there into the chat window, but you can go on YouTube as you see there and look for Doodle Chaos. I have no affiliation with them whatsoever. There is a small amount of language in the song, so if you're playing this at work, use headphones or keep your volume low because there's a couple of S-bombs or something in there. I don't remember what, but anyway, they're there. But come on, stupid Mac. So let's take a look and see what that looks like. I'm just going to give it a few seconds of play. There's going to be no audio. That way I don't get the hit for the audio. So basically what's happening here is, as you can see with the text, the AI is just keying off words that are in the song. I'm going to turn the audio down because I can hear it on my headphones, but it's not playing over the stream. So, and like I said, as you can see there, as it goes along, you know, it just creates this trippy little impossible this is obviously an impossible you know, real world, very obviously not possible, but it's pretty cool to watch. Do not use substances that you would not use when you're operating heavy machinery. Stay off that while you're watching this video, but it's pretty cool. Doodle Chaos, there's his channel there. Maybe I'll check out that channel. Maybe I'll give him a subscribe. I already gave it a thumbs up. So pretty neat. Anywho, there's that. So onwards with the show. So today's topic is how you can profit from big gains in stock. Like if an expensive stock were to make a big move, you could benefit directly without owning that stock, like Amazon. That's what we're going to take a look at. That's $115 a share. You know, most people probably can't buy 100 shares. You're looking at half that value in cash, or we're going to start using the phrase buying power. That's going to take $5,500 in buying power if you were to try and buy that. And perfect, there's a 42-day expiration. So if you said, I want to buy 100 shares of it, there's your buying power, $4,000, which is kind of curious. They must have adjusted the buying power for Amazon. Usually it's 50%, which, correct me if I'm wrong, would be half of $11,500. Yeah, buy 100 shares, $11,500. But for some reason they only went 39.06. So not bad, but we're going to show how you can benefit from that with less money. Now, a quick caveat about buying power. You know, if your stock changes value, if the options change value, they may want you to add money to this account. So it's good to do one of two things. Either have some cash, which is probably just a bad idea, or only do options with a portion of your account. Like if you have $100,000 in stock, you know, you can borrow $50,000 in buying power easy, like all day long. So, you know, this would be no problem. There's a couple of different ways to slice that. And the most you would have to, you know, put out is probably $4,000 or $5,000. So, moving on. Would anyone like some tea? Of course you wouldn't, because no one's watching this. So let's set this up a different way. Here's a way that you can set this up to make what's called a synthetic stock position, in that it works exactly like owning the stock, but it doesn't require nearly the cash outlay. And as you'll see, the risk profile is the same. So let's look at the risk profile and see what that looks like. Oh, I've got extras here. Let's get rid of all. Let's just do these two. Okay, because I've got shares of Amazon. I guess maybe. Okay, I don't know. Okay, So that's just the shares. All right, all right. I'm on page now. So there's the shares. So guess what this graph says? If the shares go up in price, it gets green. If the shares go down in price, it gets red for what you paid. Shocker. Yeah, I know. Your mind's blown, right? But remember what this graph looks like. So there's your risk profile. If you buy 100 shares of Amazon, just wing it. Just YOLO in Amazon. Whatever. It's not really YOLO. You're a bull market genius. In a bull market, you look like a genius. Everybody does. Okay, so let's look at this. If we did this, we replicated that risk profile with options. In other words, if the shares go up in value, the price of the shares goes up, you benefit. If the price of the shares goes down, you don't benefit. So let's say we're going to sell the 115 put, which means you're offering to give somebody $115 a share. If it goes down below that, you're kind of on the hook for the difference, so to speak. Notice how it only used $1,300 in buying power, whereas before it was almost $4,000. And then on the other side, like let's say, so you're going to bring in a credit. Let's just put it at the midpoint and call it 680. Now over here, the 117.5 call, you want to buy that one. Notice a couple things here. It says, guess what? Anything from this point here about the 115 line on up is green. Just like if you bought the stock, up is green, down is red. $48 you get immediately. So you make 48 bucks if the stock sits there, and these options expire worthless in 42 days. The 42 days to expiration, August 19th, 22. You get to keep the 50 bucks. Sweet. Now let's look at the curve here for the analysis. See, there's a little tiny flat spot in here, which is, a small difference, the 48. See how you can scroll it back and forth and be like, $48. Yeah, profit loss. All right, cool. Basically, it's the same. It's more or less the same graph, but you get 50 bucks. So it's got to come up a little bit, in other words, to start making money, because what we were looking at to buy was the 117.5 call. So you don't directly start benefiting one for one until it goes up another couple of bucks. Once it hits that point, just like the graph showed, once it hits the 117.5, see the price there at the top little flag, July 7th, whatever. There's some things on the graph I don't know all the little bits and pieces, but it doesn't matter. Once it hits 117.5, then it goes up. And notice you've got a little protection to the downside here, because you've got that 50 bucks coming in. So you don't really start losing money until 115. Not at the current stock price. Like if you bought the stock and the stock went down from here, you would start losing money immediately. We're bringing in $48 in credit, plus you've got the 54 cents to drop, so you've got a little protection. So the green flag is where it is right now, and you notice you've got a little bit of protection there before you actually start losing money, which is fair, because guess what? To the upside, it takes a little longer till you really start making the money and the graph really goes up. In this little area right here, guess what you get? You get 50 bucks. Whatever. But look at the difference in buying power. 1988 versus like 38, whatever. It's like half. Now the risk of it is if this starts going down, you could end up buying the stock, which you might have bought Amazon anyway, but you got the 50 bucks up front. Plus you're saying, I don't want to pay $115.54 the current price. I want to pay $115. You might have to add some money to actually buy the stock if that were, what you wanted to do. Now the flip side of this, let's say you didn't want to do that. Let's say the stock goes down in value to the 110. See how that's 475 there at 42 days, and if you go out here, the 110 is worth 750. So there's always that time value component. We talked about that. You don't necessarily have to buy a stock if your put starts going against you. My advice to you on this is don't sell a put at all if it's a stock that you would hate owning. Amazon, okay, sure. I think most people would be fine with owning Amazon. But you could also do this on SPY, which is basically owning SPY is like owning the U.S. economy, which historically is not a bad bet. You could do the same thing here. Let me clear this out. So let's say I wanted to buy the stock. That would cost me $20,000 roughly. So it looks like that's about a 50% requirement. I don't know why Amazon's lower. Oh, I know why Amazon is lower. Amazon is lower for me because I have that other position on. So it's taking that into account. And we won't go into that, but that's why my buying power was not 50%. Okay, there we go. Now we're on the same sheet. All right, so 388, it's at 388.67. So you said, I'll put here and I'll buy that over there. Now this is a small debit. That's just how it works out. Sometimes you could do it this way and say, all right, I want a credit, 3-cent credit. The difference is here you're going to have a flatter spot. And these little shield signs over here, that means the trade that you're looking at. See, you got that same little flat spot and then the up and down. And you're basically getting the benefit of the stock with a lot less money, like half, and then the 3-cent credit. This may be messing up a little bit because of the way that I shouldn't mess up. Yeah, anywho, disregard that. So this is how, with less buying power, you can replicate a stock risk profile. And you can always move this, where you like. If you just want to offset and pay the $112 up front, that's fine. I'm a cheapie, so me personally, I always like to bring in a little bit of a credit. Notice the green bar here. So you still got some downside protection. You got the 67 cents to get to the 388, the 67 up here plus the 3 cents. So you got about a 70-cent buffer, which is not much, but it is something. The small protections over time do add up. So that's about it. I think we've explained this pretty well. Questions, comments, additions. Ultimately, this will go on YouTube. Hopefully somebody will watch it there. Thanks for liking, subscribing, clicking, hanging out. And stop playing games. Play the grand game. Play the stock market. It's not that complicated. If you're a Wall Street Bets person, you've probably been doing it wrong. Can you win big? Yes. Can you lose big? Yes. This is, to me, the stuff that I'm going to talk about is the way to do it. Good gains over time. And then you could stick your ill-gotten gains in something that pays a dividend and retire to your boat off the coast of Greece one day. See ya. Bye-bye.